closer range, you put the closer range in the middle of the circle.
Dad, I got a hole almost, I think, center in yours. Exact.
Put the little post.
Oh, I think I think you've got the middle one.
If you want it to be finer, you just flip
In a minute, Max. Let me try for my quarter.
For your quarter? Or you mean my quarter?
Your quarter.
It's over top. Just aim a little lower.
Okay, so this is the shooting stand for a rifle stand or pistol stand that I learned at the Boy Scout camp when my son was doing a camp out. They use it for their shooting range, and you know, when the Boy Scouts come, there's kids of all different sizes, and this kind of stand works really well. And it's really cheaply built, and they just left it outside under your shooting bench or their shooting bench, and it seems to hold up okay in the environment. So when I built it, it's very, very easy, and it's very, very useful. It gives you 3 different heights, depending on how tall you are, just by turning it. So I'm going to show you how I built it using scrap materials. Very cheap, very easy. It'll take a few minutes. So for the shooting stand, you need to get your hands on some materials, and I just use scrap that I find around the yard, and I get to build this pretty much for free. So first of all, you need a piece of plywood, maybe 2 square feet worth. 2 by 4, or in this case it's a 2 by 3. That'll work. And a 2 by 2. And then for covering whatever carpet remnants that you have should work. So the first step is we cut the plywood into squares, about 12 inches or so. A little over, a little less. Doesn't really matter. But whatever length you choose, you should stay with that length for all 3 sides. So for instance, if I'm going to do 12 inches, for this side, I better do 12 inches for the other side too. Okay, and the really easy way to make a equilateral triangle is, here, I gotta set the camera down. Okay, so this is how I draw my triangles. So first you take one edge that's 12 inches long. Okay, and we're gonna pivot around one corner of the ruler, and then just draw an arc using that. So I know that the distance from here to any point on this curve is 12. Next is I'm going to pivot on this corner. I'll do it this way. I'm going to pivot on this corner, and again draw an arc that's 12 inches. I don't know if you can see, but the first arc and the second arc crosses right here, and that is where you're going to draw your line from to each of the corners. So there you have it, 12 inch equilateral triangle. Okay, now to cut this, I am going to just double this up, making sure this one edge is aligned perfectly, and then just cut both pieces as a whole. have a perfect equilateral triangle or two pieces. I'm going to cut off this little sharp corner here so the kids don't poke themselves. Okay. So these are the sides. Now we're going to put the 2x4 and 2x2 in the middle. Alright, I don't have any 2x4, so I'm going to use 2x3s. Really doesn't make much of a difference. I'll cut one edge off, just a square at the end of that piece. And then what I'm going to do is just arbitrarily, it doesn't really matter. Depending on how wide you want your stand to be, I'm going to have it, maybe up to here. Okay, so like I said, this is scrap wood. And then now we cut the other piece. Alright, so there it is. These two we'll be using for the middle. Okay, now for the assembly, I'm going to have one edge, actually, you know what, I'm going to have, oh, by the way, make sure that you don't mess up orientation of the two pieces. They should stay somewhat, well, they should stay exactly the same way that you cut it. Okay, so for the assembly, I'm going to put this piece right up here. Okay, so that'll give us one rest at this height. Okay, and then when we rotate that, the second rest is going to be a little bit lower, and the third one is going to be even lower still. So let's go ahead and do the first one. Right up there. I'll put a little bit of wood glue just to make it hold up a little bit better, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, so I put the first screw on the side. Just one screw, so I can adjust it if necessary. Okay. And this one is gonna align right here. Okay. A little bit of wood glue. So now I'm going to get it to approximately the same height. The closer you can get, the better. If you're not too lazy like I am, you can probably measure it with a ruler. But I don't think it's all that necessary. Alright, so now that you got one screw on both ends, you want to set this down. Make sure it's even. Make sure it's level. Both edges are touching completely. Okay. Once we're sure that it's parallel, the two edges, put in a second screw to hold it in place. Check again. Good. Oops. Oh, it's a little low. Okay. Okay, so that's our first position. First position, I always start with the highest one, and then we're gonna have it go down a little bit, about halfway, make it a little bit lower, and then this one will be the lowest. Okay. So position 1. For position 2, I have it to the balance. Oh, yay high. Good. Now level. Okay, and then there's your position 3. Okay. Okay, so now we just screw that in. Or nail it in if you want to use a hammer and nail. I don't think it really makes a difference. Okay, now your stand is pretty much assembled. Position 1, up high. Position 2, a little bit lower. Position 3, right there. This piece is enough to act as the rest for position 2 and position 3. So the position 3 will be just that low. Okay, so the next step is we need to cut some carpet remnants about this wide. Exactly this wide. Okay? Okay, now we cut the carpet remnant that wide. And all we have to do now is wrap it up. Okay. Now, let me tighten this up a little bit. Okay. So, let's see. Low, high, medium. Okay, so that's good. I want to secure this carpet remnant to the 2x3. Alright, there we have it. 3-position shooting stand. Took only a few minutes. Also all scrap material from the yard. First position, high. Second position, medium. Third position, low. Okay, and next we're going to do some shooting with it.